Hi, Sophie. It's Miss Coddington. I really liked reading this, and you have three very clear examples. I also like the fact that you used bystander as your example from the real world. So I have a couple of grammatical errors and a couple places where you can even use some more specific evidence from the actual article that I want to talk to you about. So let's take a look. Let's go sentence by sentence. And actually, the very first thing I notice is that I would, even though you titled your email to me with your name, if you could just put your name right here up at the top so that when I am looking at it on my iPad, I can tell that it's you. That's an easy thing to fix. Okay, let's look at the first sentence. According to the study, comma, being a bully does not help a kid's social status. That social status belongs to a kid. You don't mean more than one kid. You mean one kid's social status. It belongs to them. So you need an apostrophe between the D and the S in kids. Okay? Now, in the next sentence, and if you see actually down here at the bottom, I actually wrote this. The B-U-L-L-Y apostrophe S, that's one bully, and something belongs to the bully. So the bully's socks. The socks belong to one kid who is a bully. If it's B-U-L-L-I-E-S, that's lots of bullies. That's like 5 kids who are bullies. So in this case, in the second sentence here, bullies do hurtful things to other kids. You mean more than one bully. So in that case, it's B-U-L-L-I-E-S. Okay? Bullies have fake friends or people who are scared of them. You're exactly right, but where's your evidence for that? For example, in the article, you can find a quote about the fact that kids actually kind of try to stay away from and don't admire kids who are bullies. So right here, I think you can add a little bit more information using an example from the article to substantiate your opinion, which is exactly right. People can be bullies and victims. You've got victims exactly right. You meant more than one person, but in this case, you want to take out the apostrophe and use the B-U-L-L-I-E-S. B-U-L-L-I-E-S. Okay? The other thing I would probably add at the beginning of this sentence, right here, right before the word people, is maybe a transitional word, right? So, in addition, people can be bullies and victims. Some kids will get bullied and then bully other kids. All right, where's your, again, we want a little bit more evidence. I'm going to put this little caret here. We want a little bit more evidence. So again, where you can actually find it in the percentages in that article where you can see that lots of kids are both bullier and victim. And here you go into your final example. So maybe you even want to say, finally, clue your reader in. This is your last part. Finally, I saw an example of, instead of this, say what this is, in the book Bystander. A boy named David is being bullied by Griffin. David then goes and starts to bully a boy named Eric. Okay, and here, this second note that I wrote down here, right here, is about this part where basically I want you to tie the example back to the idea of social status. So David then goes and starts bullying a boy named Eric. What does that imply? How does that prove that being a bully doesn't help your social status? How does what you just told me about bystander prove the thesis of your paper? So we want to tie it back to your very first paragraph, or your very first sentence. Does that make sense? You're going to get to listen to this in class, so if you have any questions at all, just raise your hand and ask. All in all, good job. I knew exactly where you were going with the paragraph. I think you can just add even a little bit more evidence.